every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! To become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
I recently got the opportunity to finally watch Doctor Strange. One thing that I regret about my 2022 is not watching this movie out of listening to YouTubers and critics and reviewers who say the movie made no sense for them. You know, for me, watching it, it gave me a different insight. It gave me a different perspective in sense of this movie was beautiful. This movie was worth watching. This movie should have been watched in the cinema, but it's too late for that. But when I was watching it, one thing that really stuck and caught my eye was the cinematography of it. You know, it being a Marvel film, you know, there's a lot of CGI, there's a lot of things that are involved. But the overall look of the movie for me felt like something that I had never seen before. But there was a feeling that I kept on getting, and that's what made me look up who directed it. And I realized it was Sam Raimi, who sounded familiar. This is the same man who gave us the first Spider-Man and second Spider-Man. And those Spider-Mans are type of movies whereby they had this feeling that they just gave you, that made you keep on wanting to watch them. You know, as I was watching the movie, it made me realize like how important it is and how directors influence this type of movies that we watch. You know, sometimes we might even not even think about it, but it's like they have a certain style and a certain technique to their work. And for me, that's what this film felt like. But overall, it's still a Marvel movie, and you can see the formula. You know, we start with WandaVision, who I feel like they have really exploited, you know, to the best of their capabilities, because the character just allows you so much resolve in the sense of her wanting to be with her kids. This is something that was big in the series, which I did not watch, but from what I heard, that was a big thing whereby she was struggling with grief over the death of Vision. And then when you look into what she did in the next film, like in this film, where it's just about connection with her kids in different universes and that drive, I felt like for me, story structure wise, it didn't feel strong, like as a motivation for the things and the lengths that she was going to connect with kids that do not belong to her. I just felt like it wasn't strong enough of a thing to drive her to the extent of where she went. Whilst we do understand that WandaVision has the ability to well, it's not WandaVision, it's Wanda Maximoff. She has the ability to do some crazy stuff. One of the problems was there was just no emotional connection. You know, it's not like when she was with the other kids, they felt to her, or like, this is mom. But then you could tell how the formula worked of her arc, right? Of whereby we start out with having this desire to pursue this little girl so she can move through universes, and then at the end of it come to a realization that, oh, she has to destroy the thing that allowed her to dreamwalk into other people. You realize, like, all right, there's a little bit of a formula which takes away from the storyline, because I felt like there was more that could be done. But overall, from a story perspective, I feel like Doctor Strange's and the Multiverse of Madness is a crazy movie, man. Like the way he turns into the zombie, that just killed me. Like there was a lot of comedic moments in the film and a lot of things to pace it forward, which was very good. I like the way America acted. You know, she acted as a teen, which creates hope for the future. I don't know how it's gonna work, especially with the political spheres that we now live in, whereby you have to then cater to what's happening. You know, I don't want her, you know, you wish movies would be left to be movies and we don't have to suffer the plight of politics within them, but that's the reality of the world. Politics, propaganda, everything has to fall into it. So you wonder what's going to happen in the next Avengers, how they'll come forward. Will America be an Avenger, you know, looking at things like that? T'Challa's son, will they all come up and create the new sort of Avengers? Overall, I feel like this movie was well done, which is proof of how much a director can influence the storyline and can create something that works for them. I don't know why I'm still wearing these, but yeah, I just wanted to say that I think from a cinematic perspective, this movie is beautiful. Like the picture quality is just beautiful. It's not, you know how nowadays it's all about less light. I feel like this one was full of light and color, which just allowed you to enjoy it, and it takes you from stage to stage. As a filmmaker, there were some editing mishaps, like, you know, in the scene where Wanda Maximoff tells Doctor Strange that, you know, about Americana. If you look at it, the cuts at some point, they're like, but those are things that you only see if you're used to cutting, where you're like, oh, I've seen that. Other than that, I feel like this was a very beautiful movie, well done, well story told. Everything about it was almost perfect, which is what Marvel does. You know, I've heard a lot of people, like I complained about Black Panther. I feel like they let themselves down compared to what they did with Doctor Strange.